Hi, everybody. I'm Gloria Moraga. This is the Political Woman Podcast. How you doing? I am fabulous. I am doing great. I had a great Christmas day and wanted to hop on here and share some information with you, some stuff that happened right before the holiday, right before our very special December the 25th, the dearest day in all the world, December the 25th, my dear. The Matt Gaetz Congressional Ethics Report was released on Monday, so a couple days ago, and it is Thursday, December 26th, today. This is from Vanity Fair, quote, "The House Ethics Committee investigation into Matt Gaetz found, quote, substantial evidence that the former Florida representative had engaged in illicit drug use and sexual misconduct while in office. The evidence includes an allegation that he paid a 17-year-old for sex in 2017, according to a draft report obtained by CBS News and other outlets Monday ahead of its expected release. After that was written, it was released, and all of that is confirmed in the report. And it goes on to say that Gaetz filed a last-minute lawsuit to try to block that report, but that last-minute lawsuit did not work. This is from PBS. The 38-page report by the bipartisan panel includes explicit details of sex-filled parties and vacations that Gaetz, now 42, took part in while representing Florida's Western Panhandle. The findings conclude that he violated multiple state laws related to sexual misconduct while in office. And it goes on, and it mentions that lawsuit again that Gaetz tried to file. And here's what PBS says. On Monday, Gaetz filed a lawsuit seeking to block the report's release, saying it contains, quote, this is from Gaetz, that's why I wanted to read it, untruthful and defamatory information that would significantly damage his standing and reputation in the community. Gaetz' complaint argues he's no longer under the committee's jurisdiction since he resigned from Congress. All right. In this podcast, I'm going to share parts of the Congressional Ethics Committee report, only parts. I'm not going to read it all. I actually was toying with the idea, but it's been read by others. Daily Beans did a great, I listened to it while I was wrapping presents. Daily Beans read the whole report. That's great. You can listen to that if you want to read the whole report, and I will post the full report on gloriamoraga.com. And I should have done it already, but I haven't. I've been frolicking. I've been celebrating the birthday of Jesus Christ, our Savior. So I'm going to start and tell you, I'm doing this because it's important that we know what Congress is doing. It's important that we know what Congress members are doing now more than ever when we've got kind of a compromised Supreme Court and when we've got a convicted felon scheduled to enter the office of the presidency. And his posts, his social media posts, do not give me pause to feel better about his election. They make me even more concerned than ever. That's why it's important to know what Congress is up to. Congress worked on this ethics committee report for years and then did not want to release it to us. Why? Why do we have these facts and information that involve a high-ranking, considered high-ranking member of the incoming president's team? Now, that has been derailed, thanks in part to this report and these allegations coming forward. But this investigation's been going on for a long time, and Newspapers have reported it. The New York Times is quoted here. So it's important that we know what they're doing. That's our money. We pay for them. And I want to know what they're doing with our money. I want to give some background rather than read it chronologically or go into this chronologically. So what I'm going to do is go to page 9. And this is page 9. Take a look. And it's under factual background. And this will give you an idea of how this all came about. Allegations of sexual misconduct and drug use. On March 30th, 2021, the New York Times reported that Representative Gaetz was under investigation by the Department of Justice for possible violation of sex trafficking laws. So even though the New York Times is one of the reasons this all came to light, the 2021 date is a while after this stuff had been happening. The investigation reportedly related to allegations that Representative Matt Gaetz had sexual relationship with a 17-year-old and paid her to travel with him. On April 1st, 2021, additional reporting indicated that the federal investigation included allegations involving cash payments, the use of illegal substances, the recruitment of women online for sex, and the use of campaign funds to pay for travel for women. The DOJ investigation was part of an ongoing inquiry involving a former tax collector in Florida named Joel Greenberg, who was sentenced to 11 years in prison in 2022. Representative Gaetz' arrangement with Joel Greenberg. The committee record shows that shortly after he was sworn into Congress in 2017, Representative Gaetz became friends with Mr. Greenberg, who had recently taken office as the Seminole County tax collector. All right, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop quoting from the document and give you some background on Joel Greenberg. This, my friends, is Joel Greenberg. In 2016, Greenberg was elected tax collector of Seminole County, Florida, after running a reportedly self-funded campaign. He defeated incumbent Ray Valdez, who had held that office for 30 years. And Greenberg took office in January 2017. Greenberg was once described, and this is from some website somewhere, as a Republican star in Central Florida politics. This is from Wikipedia. Greenberg is accused of stealing $400,000 of public funds and of sex trafficking. The government alleges that since 2017, he used the state's driver's license system to obtain names of minors for commercial sex acts, also created fake IDs to facilitate sex trafficking. Some of the money was funneled through a private company he created and ran from government buildings called Government Blockchain Systems, LLC. Oh my goodness. And then it just goes on and on and on, giving all this Greenberg background. He was a piece of work. Finally, and there's a lot on Greenberg, my friends. I mean, I could do a whole series on just Greenberg, on the things that he did and was accused of and pled guilty of. On May 2021, Greenberg pleaded guilty to 6 federal charges: sex trafficking of a child, the lowest possible form of scum, production of false identification documents, aggravated identity theft, wire fraud, stalking, conspiracy. And as part of a plea deal, because he was going to get possibly life, he agreed to cooperate with the U.S. Justice Department in an ongoing investigation. And that's how he started turning on Matt Gaetz and providing information. He's serving a 12-year sentence. That's the minimum sentence allowed by law. What a piece of work. Back to the Gaetz ethics report. According to Mr. Greenberg, he and Gaetz met at the house of Christopher Dorworth, a Florida lobbyist. Mr. Greenberg and Representative Gaetz frequently attended parties and other gatherings with young women in attendance. Many of these women were initially contacted by Mr. Greenberg via the website seekingarrangement.com, which is now called seeking.com. And Mr. Greenberg subsequently introduced the women to Representative Gaetz. This is all a quote from the report. Seekingarrangement.com advertised itself as a sugar dating website that primarily connected older men and younger women seeking mutual beneficial relationships. The website was generally understood by many of the women interviewed by the committee to involve, at minimum, an exchange of companionship for money. There have been many prosecutions against individuals for sex trafficking that originated with contacts made through seekingarrangement.com. Quote, this is according to the committee, not according to me. I'm not saying this. Or similar websites, they said, similar to seekingarrangement.com is, I don't know. This is all so wrong. You know that on so many levels, that this is a Congress member representing the state of Florida that's supposed to be conservative, and this is what they get, and this is what they elect and re-elect. And who knows? Nobody knows. Everybody knew about Greenberg. And where was the Justice Department in all of this? I read this stuff and I just have more questions than answers. I don't know about you. Back to the document. Quote, some have called for the website to be shut down due to its facilitation of prostitution. And then the committee says platforms such as seekingarrangement.com are known to make it easier for traffickers to exploit victims and connect with buyers. I'm going to go to page 12 of the report, and it reads, Representative Gaetz' interactions with women he met through Mr. Greenberg. The transactional nature of the interactions. From 2017 to 2020, Representative Gaetz made tens of thousands of dollars in payments to women that the committee determined were likely in connection with sexual activity and or drug use. Payments were made to these women using peer-to-peer payment platforms such as PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. While Representative Gaetz had accounts in his name on each of those platforms, he also sometimes paid women through another person's PayPal account and through an account held under a pseudonym email account. Representative Gaetz also paid some of the women by check or cash. The following chart summarizes payments made by Congressman Gaetz to Mr. Greenberg and to women via peer-to-peer payment platforms or checks. And here's the chart, and take a look. You can see the money paid out, and then the committee report goes on to read, quote, the committee's record indicates that Representative Gaetz was in a long-term relationship with woman one, and therefore some of the payments may have been legitimate in nature. However, as discussed further below, woman one asserted her Fifth Amendment right when asked whether the payments to her from Representative Gaetz were for sexual activity and or drugs, or for her to pass on to others for such purposes. Based on that assertion, combined with evidence received from other sources, the committee found substantial reason to believe most of these payments were for such activity. And on page 17, we have some screenshots of messages to a 20-year-old that Greenberg was trying to hook up with his friend Gaetz and the woman. And I'll read. Messages from Joel Greenberg to 20-year-old female. If you have a friend that is down, perhaps 4 of us can meet up later. Do you party at all? Oh, that's perfect. I have a friend who introduced me to the website that I could bring. She's very pretty, great personality. I usually do 400 per meet. Does your friend use the website as well? And yes, I do like to go out sometimes. Very cool, says Greenberg. Yes, he understands the deal. Smiley face. What does your friend look like? 400 is not a problem. Are you both old enough to drink? Then the woman responds, so what do you have in mind for tonight? And then there's a screenshot of Gaetz, and under it, my friend. And the woman says, oh, my friend thinks he's really cute. Ew. And then Greenberg says, well, he's down here only for the day. We work hard and we play hard. Yeah, he works hard stealing money from the state of Florida. Have you ever tried Molly? Holy cow. The report goes on to say, quote, evidence reviewed by the committee show that on several occasions, Representative Gaetz met with the woman who corresponded with Mr. Greenberg in these messages. He continues to follow her on social media and has paid her more than $2,000 since late 2018. This background gives you an idea of how Gaetz got here. I'm going to go back to the findings of the Congressional Ethics Committee report. And first, let's go to page 1. Let's just look at the cover page. Here it is. Let's just look at this first. It's kind of the introduction. And this gives you this background. So all of what I've read prior was background, and this is more. On April 9th, 2021, the committee announced it was investigating a series of widely reported allegations relating to Representative Matt Gaetz. At the request of the Department of Justice, the committee deferred its review during the 117th Congress. After it was organized for the 118th Congress, the committee reauthorized its investigation into the allegations involving Representative Gaetz. Specifically, the committee undertook a review of allegations that Representative Gaetz may have engaged in sexual misconduct or explicit drug use, shared inappropriate images or videos on the House floor, misused state identification records, converted campaign funds to personal use, and or accepted a bribe, improper gratuity, or impermissible gifts. In June 2024, following extensive fact-finding, the committee determined to continue its review of the allegations of sexual misconduct, illicit drug use, the acceptance of impermissible gifts, and expanded its review to include allegations that Representative Gaetz may have dispensed special privileges and favors to individuals with whom he had a personal relationship and obstructed government investigations into his conduct. At that time, the committee determined to take no further action on the allegations relating to the House floor, state identification records, personal use of campaign funds, and acceptance of a bribe or gratuity. End quote. Come on! Come on! No, they're not going to look into that. After this intro, I can't read anymore, it's too heartbreaking. After this intro, there's this page, and I'll just read in sum because this sums it all up. In sum, the committee found substantial evidence of the following: that from 2017 to 2020, Representative Gaetz regularly paid women for engaging in sexual activity with him. In 2017, Representative Gaetz engaged in sexual activity with a 17-year-old girl. During the period of 2017 to 2019, Representative Gaetz used or possessed illegal drugs, including cocaine and ecstasy, on multiple occasions. Representative Gaetz accepted gifts, including transportation and lodging in connection with a 2018 trip to the Bahamas, in excess of permissible amounts. In 2018, Representative Gaetz arranged for his chief of staff to assist a woman with whom he engaged in sexual activity in obtaining a passport falsely indicating to the U.S. Department of State that she was a constituent. Representative Gaetz knowingly and willfully sought to impede and obstruct the committee's investigation and conduct. Representative Gaetz has acted in a manner that reflects discredibility upon the House. End quote. There's more. Need I say more? The report goes into detail about the underage, but the minor, the 17-year-old. And again, I will say to you, why did the Justice Department not move forward with its investigation? What's wrong with this picture? I won't go into the sex with a minor. It's all there. It's all in the report. You can read it. It's not anything that anyone wants to hear about on the day after Christmas. But it's important that we do know about this stuff, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm doing it. On page 36, the end, there's a dissenting view. It's on behalf of members of the committee who do not support the release of the report. So some Republicans on the committee, not all, because it was released. So it wasn't unanimous. It wasn't down party lines. But some Republicans did not want it released because the Speaker did not want to have it released. Why? Why? He's such a good Christian family man. Why doesn't he want people to know that this is happening and this happened and there was an investigation and there was wrongdoing? And Trump tried to get this guy to be our attorney general, for God's sakes. For pity's sakes, Marley. I watched Scrooge. The dissenting opinion here doesn't say that the dissent doesn't agree with the findings. The findings are all right. They just disagree that they should have been released. So that, in a nutshell, is the Gaetz report. Of course, I skimmed over it. Of course, I did not get into every nuance of all the dirty laundry in Matt Gaetz' career, because I say career because he's doing these things as a representative of the United States Congress and not as a private citizen. And enough said. It's important that we know about these people because these people are going to be running our country, and I don't think it's a good thing. But we need to talk about it, we need to get it out, and we need to be open and honest with each other. Whether you voted, however you voted. It's past that now. We're past that. Okay? Now we're just Americans, all of us. I am Gloria Moraga. I am Political Woman. Please subscribe. Please support me. I need your support. I've got 2 podcasts. I just need time to edit them. One is on polio and what's going to happen with our vaccinations. And they're playing with fire, my friends. There's some bad things going on right now with bird flu. And it's important that we know about these things. And I don't trust Kennedy to be diligent and to put us first. There's that. And the dude who's going to be in charge of Border Patrol and getting rid of some immigrants. He had a long interview in the Washington Post, and I'm going to do something on that as soon as I possibly can. I'm Gloria Moraga, Political Woman. Please stay safe this holiday season. Please subscribe.